Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a high-level game between Rogue and Gumiho as the sweet sounds of the Terran theme song enter our ears. Something about the Terran songs, it really hits different. I don't know what it is, maybe because it gives me the most nostalgia, but good lord, some fantastic music in StarCraft too. What else do we have over here? We have a hatch first, which was extremely fast. I believe this was a 15 hatch coming out of Rogue here. So it's gonna go for at least an initial gasless start. Let's see what our man Gumiho is going to be up to. I'm very curious to see. Gumiho is one of these players that has a large variety of build orders that they can kind of at any point in time just pull out and start going with. So yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. We have a command center coming up here in the natural as well. As our worker comes up with a deep, well, no scout, which is not necessary. You don't need to scout. It's just nice sometimes to get some info. Rogue is going to fully commit here into the gasless, by the way. Sometimes we see a lot of, like some of the Korean players, I want to say Shin in particular, likes opening with 15 hatch and then still adding an extractor. But Rogue not like that. He says, you know what? If I'm going to gasless, I'm going to gasless it real freaking good. Sends 2 links by towards the right side. I think this is going to be for a potential SCV deny, as well as a link run by into the natural. I don't quite think that these links are going to be in time to cancel the CC, but they might be in time to get a Marine kill, though a second Marine is on the way already. Queen pops out, and Rogue is going to be holding this Reaper off. As this Marine moves downstairs, we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen here. Third CC coming out of Gumiho, so a fairly standard opener out of the Korean Terran player. CC actually is not done yet. That does surprise me a little bit. I thought that with this path that Rogue took, it would take a little bit longer. Nice control there on the Ling, as the second Marine actually did end up getting cancelled. I didn't realize that. Got cancelled in favor of a faster reactor. And now Gumiho's in a really awkward spot where his CC hasn't finished up quite yet. This is like a 10-15 second delay there on the command center. That means a 10-15 second delay on the mule as well as losing an SCV there in building time. A little bit of mining time here being lost too. And on top of that, for now both links are still alive. One of them is going to get smacked here by the Reaper. So big ups to that, but nice. Well done. Really cool moves here out of Rogue. Definitely worth the investment of the 2 links. Paid off big time, in my opinion. As we're going to follow this up with a quick starport. 2 cars coming out here as well. And a Roach Warren is on the way. Second gas. So we have our gas already mining in the main base, of course. Something that you can do on this map, by the way. I'm not sure how good it is, but you could theoretically go for like a Roach Warren Evo wall and fully wall off this area. Because right now what's going to happen is Gumiho's just going to drive on by. This could be a bit of a problem as 2 Hellions are still alive. The far away Hellion is the one that needs to be banged here by the Queen. It's going to go end up falling. Reaper over on the third base as well at the same time. Hellion still alive, but actually dealing a lot of direct and indirect damage as well. Lots of mining time here is being lost. So Hellion Reaper is now going to get out. So a single Hellion ends up falling. Full drone pool in the main base. 3 drones going down, and Gumiho keeping a lot of stuff alive. Like this obviously was a great trade here for Gumiho. He's going to be fairly happy with that, as the follow-up is going to be 4 gas. 4 gas and Banshee, so I don't know how good your noses are, but my nose is telling me that this is going into Mech. I can sniff it out any day of the week. Really nice Viking movement as well. Look at that. And then we have like this Hellion Reaper on the left side, which kind of acts as a fake. Like I even would love for these extra Hellions to show themselves, because right now Roaches are going to be on the left. You might even want to move some of these Queens a little bit further to the left. And then we have this 4 Hellion run by towards the right. Really intelligent movement here out of Gumiho. Really cute. I really do enjoy it. Let's see how quick the response is here. Rogue not expecting 4 cars to come in through this area. As the first shot is kind of a whiff. Second shot doesn't do a whole lot either. Shot number 3 is there. It's just going to get 1 more drone. This was a terrible engagement here. At the same time, though, a couple of cars entering the natural as well. So we get 8 workers falling here. 2 armory going up behind us, by the way. Pre-factory. So this is going to be a Mech upgrade rush. Look how late these factories are here. We're purely surviving here on Banshee right now. So this is still the same Viking from earlier. It's going to be the third Overlord kill that he'll collect. And I think at this point, yeah, it's clear as day to Rogue what this actually is. As he starts melee upgrades, he starts attack upgrades for range as well. Usually if you're playing against Bio, we're going to see carapace upgrades rather than attack upgrades. So yeah, this is a clear indication that Rogue does know what's kicking off. Raven is going to be added into the mix here. So we went Viking, Banshee, into Raven. We're now getting Hyperflight Rotors post-Cloak. And we have double upgrades as well as a 4cc coming in here. Look at the gas mining that we have going on over here. This is insane. This is actually insane. The amount of gas that is being mined right now is ridiculous. And Gumiho just seems to be preparing for a long, fat macro game. And we're going to have to wait and see if Rogue actually is willing to give that to him. Like, Rogue could go for something else, but as he has 9 more drones, it does start to feel a lot like Rogue is accepting the terms. You know, he signed the dotted line, and he's now going to be confined to a macro game against Gumiho, and that is something that I wouldn't wish upon my worst opponent. If Gumiho opens up with double armory, 4cc of 3 factory, like there's going to be a lot of cash floating around here. Like he's going to be rich. He's going to have lots of disposable income as he goes up to 5 fact. I think he'll actually fairly quickly go into 8 factory. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets 2 upgrades and then straight up goes into 8. Like, he's going to have a freaking banging production here as an eBay comes down as well. A couple of changelings are being sent out right now. So this Viking is trying to collect his 4th kill. It's not quite going to work out. Double Banshee is moving out. Thors are going to be... Excuse me. Thors? I might be misunderstanding here. So the most popular way of playing Mech is currently going for Hellion Cyclone and then eventually adding some tanks. The way that Gumiho approaches it here is very different. He only adds 2 tanks into the composition, has no real mobility except with Hellions, and then straight up goes into Thors. Which I am not sure how secure this is. But we're going to see, because Rogue is actually going for a bit of an attack here of only 73 workers as well. Double Banshee coming in with a flank. There's 2 Banshees on the right side as well. More tanks immediately get produced as the first 2 Thors are popping out right now. Tanks in the back dishing out a lot of damage. Thor's distracted by the Overseers as both of these tanks will end up falling. Maybe the Thors aren't distracted by the Overseers. And when the Overseers die, this single Banshee or these double Banshees are going to be enough to push this back. Honestly, given how scary this looked, fairly decent hold here out of Gumiho, who's going straight into some more tanks. Already has 2 Thors. Maybe that's just the plan, to get like 2 of these for safety. I wouldn't even completely mind that, because if you don't have any Cyclones, you don't have any serious anti-airs. So something like a Murat transition might actually just destroy you, or a fast Brute Lord transition also could get you. Yeah, we are going to do, by the way, what I thought would happen. Straight 2-2. Into 3 more factories and thus going up to 8. We have the reactor coming down here on the starport as well. I don't quite know what that is for. Like, I've seen it both ways, Viking or Liberator. If I were to guess, I'd go for like a round of Vikings first. I feel like Gumiho always is one of the players that really wants to be prepared for potential Vipers. So we often see like 2-3 rounds of Vikings to deal with any Vipers. Like if you have 6 Vikings, that is a great number to deal with a Viper or 2, absolutely. And it doesn't stop the Vipers from casting the Blinding Cloud, but it stops the Vipers from casting a Blinding Cloud later on in their life because they'll die. Like they need to commit into you in this case. So it's kind of cool to see. Gumiho tends to go for the simplest solution for his problems. Like if there's a complex solution that has like a 5%, higher return on investment, he'll usually go for the simpler one, where he'll believe that it's more likely that he'll get to execute it. So it's always something to kind of keep in mind. Like I think the Hellion Cyclone tends to be a little bit more intense as well. Like a little bit more, you need more APM to play that type of style. Well, if you're running around with this type of army, I mean, there's really not a whole lot to be doing right now except you siege some stuff, you turn stuff into the Hellbat. This is a very high Hellbat count, by the way. He actually has 20 Hellbats right now. 20 Hellbats in the mix, as the first few Vikings are coming out. 20 Hellbats, we have 12 tanks. CCs are coming down. Banshees are around somewhere, but they're just being used defensively in this moment. So the double Thors in case of a Broodlord transition. The tanks to deal with everything on the ground. The Raven for the anti-armor missile. Here we go. This is all coming in from a single angle. Good tank pre-split, by the way, out of Gumiho as well, may I add. So Banelings are going to connect with majority of these Hellbats, and now Banelings are just kind of roaming around. We get 2 auto turrets placed down as well. Gumiho is going to slaughter Rogue's army big time. It felt like Rogue was doing an okay job because he had all these Banelings alive, but it's nice if you kill all the Hellbats. You also still need to clear the tanks. Like, the tanks really have the main damage. Now we get a 4th Thor transition, which is understandable. I think Gumiho probably believes that there's going to be a remix here into some type of Broodlord or maybe something else, but he already has 3 Vikings as well, has 2 Thors. I almost feel like he might be pushing a little bit too far forward here right now. You have 2 Banshees hitting this base, just get a Blinding Cloud or 2. Vikings in the air, gonna take out 1 Viper. Thor's gonna get killed here as well. Gumiho, despite winning that first fight, I think is gonna take a bit of an L over here. More Hellions are coming in, but against pure Roach, it's not gonna be good enough. Behind all of this, 3 extra command centers have been added. A 5th command center, or the 5th base, has turned into a planetary, which is big news, obviously. And we're still on fantastic production here as well. The only thing that Gumiho is lacking are his upgrades. And I saw him select these armories just now. He's like, he realizes that he ideally would be getting his 3/3 upgrades as well right now. Like, it is so important for him to kind of keep that rolling. Because, I mean, that was one of the advantages that he created for himself. Just getting those really fast upgrades. Usually you're going to be behind when you're playing Mech, because you maybe get your armory after like 5 factories. But here, the upgrades have been even or slightly favorable for him, which is absolutely unheard of. The army that he's constructed and sent over to this area on the map, by the way, is once again looking pretty fierce. Like, we're working with 9 tanks total. I think up here we have 5 or 6. We have 6 tanks. There's not a whole lot of creep. This is flankable. It absolutely is flankable, but at the same time, like, when I look at a position like this, it doesn't seem like something that's easily breakable. So Banshees have disappeared right now, by the way. We're going to need a lift on that depot. It's going to be in time. We get a full pull back here out of Gumi. So this is really the point of the Banshee, or this was the point of the Banshee, is just being nearby so you can deal with this type of run by. And I think like having 1 or 2 Hellbats here also would have honestly, you know, been freaking huge, but yeah, not the case. Run by actually being fairly annoying there. I think this army looks so strong. Like, if these armies join up, like if these 7 tanks get to join this tank army, I don't actually see a world in which Rogue wins this. Like, how is he ever going to engage into this setup? I just don't understand it. I also would love to see like a secondary wall here, or even a planetary down in this area to stop the run-bys from this right side. I think it would be extremely useful. Okay, here we go. Tanks not quite sieged up. Rogue is setting it up just before the tanks get in the right positions. As Gumiho is going to siege further towards the back right now with those 5 tanks that just arrived. We have a couple more tanks in the natural. Let's not forget about that. Tanks now are sieging up. Look at that. Roaches are falling at such a rapid pace. I think this fight ends up being kind of okay for Gumiho, but I think this should have been impossible even for Rogue to attempt. Had these tanks just sieged up a bit further in the back quicker, I actually believe that we'd be looking at a complete wipe of the army, and Gumiho may be losing like, what, 25-30 supply, and Rogue just being completely cooked. Overall resource loss still heavily in favor right now of Gumiho, as a Hellbat run by actually deals a little bit of damage. Would love to see it go over here as well. There is no way that Gumiho actually believes that his opponent is on 5 base currently. He needs to be aware of the fact that there's a base over here. Like, he just, even if he doesn't know it, deep down he absolutely does know. Get a bunch of tanks just set up over here. This is starting to become a pretty scary position because it hasn't been reinforced in a while. Like, we have our 9 tanks or so, 10 tanks, which is a good number of tanks, don't get me wrong. Like, this is a great setup, but we're kind of lacking the supplement, you know, the Hellbats, like a Thor or 2. Like, right now, look at this. Rogue is just gonna walk in here, and he's actually gonna get a pretty decent trade. He's going to clean up this tank line, and this is the point where Gumiho Re was like, wait a second, I have like 30 supply just chilling at home. I wish it was there, but it wasn't. and the tank count has been diminished severely. We're now going to try to make a stand over here with just a single siege tank. Good control on that one Thor that got pushed to the left, or pulled to the left. Liberator sieging up far, far in the back. Like, this fight, despite it being with way, way less tanks, actually felt a little bit better for Gumiho than the previous one did. Like, yeah, he lost 2 Thors, but he also killed a crap ton of Roach Hydra. Resource lost is, what is that, like 8k-ish? 8k in favor of Gumiho right now, who is adding more and more orbitals as well. So we're going up to 8 orbitals. We already have 6. One base is flying over. It's going to turn into a planetary on the 6th. Okay, this base has been figured out, has been spotted, has been discovered. This is one tank on the left. I'm pretty sure both Gumiho and Rogue forgot about that tank. I don't think Rogue was aware of it. No, actually, he's been seeing this for a while. The Rogue has been aware of it. He's just not killing it. Okay, now we're going to get a scan. Maybe a kill or 2 here on these roaches. If you can get that, that'd be nice. Oh, he gets 2 roaches. Almost, oh, he gets a 3rd one. Maybe a 4th. Nope. 3 roaches there still with that tank. Honestly, a decent trade for a tank that's left behind. I think Gumiho's almost being a bit too aggressive right now onto the map. Like, his supply is relatively low. We have 18. Was that an 18 swarm host? Did I see that correct? 16. 16 swarm hosts coming out willy-nilly like that. This is one of the things that we don't see a whole lot, but when we see it, usually 1 or 2 things happens. Either the first swarm host wave does absolutely nothing, because for whatever reason the Terran is prepared, has a good setup, you know, tanks, hellbats, all that good jazz, and then the Terran walks across the map and wins the game. Or the swarm host, they kind of go into this like war of attrition type style, where they're continuously sending stuff in, and they're not necessarily getting the greatest trades, but they're getting good enough trades. So it's going to be like 2, 3 tanks and maybe 4 or 5 hellbats. It's like, that is absolutely worthwhile. So we'll see how this is going to go. Okay, we have, well, 1 tank going down. Yeah, okay, that's rough. Like, that is actually legitimately just very, very rough. Because right now there's such a... Look at the army supply, right? Army supplies are even, but then we have... Like, how much freaking supply is this? Like, 45 supply in freaking swarm hosts, just roaming around, being completely useless. So, the moment you use a wave, you're actually going to be down army supply. And on top of that, the rest of your army consists of freaking Ravagers, which are not good in straight-up engagements. They're good at stalling fights, like picking off an individual tank. But they're not good in straight-up engagements. Like, there's no Zerg army that really beats this on the ground. Baneling's now rolling forward, though, and with this swarm host wave, we have the ability to do something crazy. And a pretty crazy start of the fight indeed. All tanks are unsieged as well, and that's going to make these Ravagers significantly stronger. Swarm hosts are going to run out. That was a fantastic wave. That was such a good wave. I do wonder if Rogue wants to continue fighting here. There's a couple more biles come out of these Ravagers. The left side base is going to get cleared. Liberator's moving into position to harass big time over here. Yes, oh, Liberator's even going to get on siege. Well done. Nice control there on that lib. As he's going to siege up once more, but without the vision, is not quite going to clear it. I don't believe it, at least. Gumiho getting up to 200 supply once more. That was a really, really neat swarm host wave, though, that one. I freaking love that. Gumiho just overstepping a little bit there. And this is why continuously scanning your opponent's army and seeing that type of stuff coming is so important. We're now going to get a big wave of swarm hosts onto this 6th base, and I think that probably means that the 6th base is toast. I could be wrong. I just don't really think I am. So we're going to get a pull back here with the tanks as well. There are just so many freaking tanks on the map. Currently have 15. Yeah, this base and its workers are going to get killed. Other base has to be cancelled. And this is actually starting to feel a little bit awkward right now for Gumiho. Gumiho is going to kill his opponent's 7th base, but he needs to clear a 6th ideally. He really does. And he also ideally would be clearing all this creep. Like, this creep is just giving so much vision, and he's done an okay job on the left side, but the right side is... He's running freaking rampant with these tumors. So we're going to need a couple of scans, like 1 more over here. Clear all of that good stuff. Where's our swarm host wave, by the way? Oh, he's going to go again. This is kind of cute. So we see an expansion towards the left. This is not going to be a real defense. Like, this shouldn't be capable. Like, if even just half of these tanks were sieged up, this type of roach move in should be a freaking death sentence. But luckily for Rogue, that wasn't quite the case. Now more and more tanks are starting to siege up. This base is being given up. It's going to be a base trade. Like an actual 1-for-1 trade. And Rogue says, I'll be fine with that. because I'm taking a base on the left. I hope to not lose as many drones, although he did end up losing, honestly, quite a few. The main issue that I see with all of this is that there's a lot of orbital commands behind this. So, like, unless you have some mobile force, yeah, I'm thinking links as well. Like, links are going to be great right now because they can actually just stop this from mining altogether. Like, you send 10, 15 links over there, that's gone, mate. It's freaking gone. As Gumiho is largely unaware as to what is kicking off here once more. Doesn't really understand what's happening. Okay, now we get a big scan. Not even sure if you want to fight this. Do you? It's gonna stay unsieged. But so many tanks, biles are gonna connect with at least a couple of them. More biles are connecting here. This control out of Rogue has actually been super impressive. Ravager count is now up to 17. He's been honestly getting some great returns on that investment. Hatchery on the right side. Spinecrawler is up. What else do we have going on over here? We have bases, bases, bases. 8 factories still, 1 starport with reactor. Both players kind of low on cash right now. Yeah, Ling Run By is going to stop this left side. So now this left side also becomes important. Ooh, I love the Hellion Cyclone transition here, actually. So it's going to be a bit of a mobility war as well. As this tank Thor army is being pushed back. I actually feel like you cannot really make a stand here, but maybe Gumiho can. As he's sending his Hellion Cyclone towards this side as well. That is a decision you could make. Another decision he could have made is to go for the base kill on the left side. Let's see if this is going to work out better. So he ends up getting 1 or 2 Ravagers with the Cyclones, but this base was completely undefended. I guess the problem is Gumiho isn't really aware of that. I think Gumiho believes he's winning. Gumiho sees his opponent on 5 base and is like, I'm on 5 base too. I even have a 6th on the way. Like, I am potentially mining from a 6th. And he's just gonna go try and kill this base. I think he's overcommitting big time here right now. And that is not good. We're gonna need to see another scan over here. Otherwise, every single one of these tanks that is siege up is gonna fall. And I think even a big portion of the tanks that are unsiege are gonna fall as the Swarm Host Locust Wave is dropping right now. Oh, this fight went much better for Gumiho than I thought it would. Holy crap. Huh. That actually went much better for Gumiho than I thought it would. We're gonna get an attack over here on all of these mules. Can these Cyclones help enough? I'm not so sure if the answer is gonna be yes. This is turning into a very, very close game. A couple more Hellions here would be great news. Tank still alive. Swarm Host count still very high. Don't forget, Swarm Host theoretically is also... Like, I'll always count it as some type of economy because they can trade for free. Like, not a single Swarm Host has gone down yet in this game, right? Like, they're just trading. Even if they're getting really poor trades. Like, there's no such thing as a poor trade because you're not paying anything. It's like being upset with the free stuff that you get at a convention. It's like, oh, this pen isn't as good as I wanted. The chewing gum tastes nasty. It's like, oh, alright. It's like taking like a Cyclone here is... If this is the income, it's fantastic. Usually you'd say, hey, you're losing some momentum in the game and, you know, you're letting the Terran grow too much. But right now, it's not actually the case at all. And we're going to get another Ling Run By as well into these mules. Everything. I do not understand why these mules are just being left alone by themselves. Like, I've seen like freaking 25 mules like go down as we have a bit of a Cyclone problem here. Now, Hellion's coming in from the right side as well. I think these Cyclones are actually too much. I don't think Rogue can do it. Wait, did he not lift this CC? He did not lift that CC. That is an issue, no? Drones now being pulled off the line. Swarm Host count is still big. But the Cyclones are just the problem. What a great call to transition into Cyclone here. Just high mobility. He says, hey, you want to play the mobility game? I can do that too. And Gumiho, honestly, well played mech game out of him. I really did not think he was going to win until the very end. It felt like, you know, with the lack of planetaries on the side, but he freaking did it. Got the W. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy this game. If you did, don't forget to smack the like, and I'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye.